Ladies and gentlemen, when someone you trusted, someone you loved, hurts you, the first instinct is to react, to cry, to question your worth. But what if I told you the most powerful response isn't revenge or silence? It's confusion, not chaos, not games, but intentional, elegant confusion. The kind that says, you don't get to mess with me and think you still know me. Let me show you how. When a man hurts you, the first thing he expects is a reaction, and not just any reaction, an emotional one. The kind that proves to him that he still holds power in your world. He's banking on you, unraveling, showing your pain, spiraling into that space where you're yelling, texting, paragraphs, replaying every detail, trying to make sense of something that already broke you. But here's the thing, when you meet hurt with silence, not cold silence, but calm, centered silence, you disarm him. It's not about playing games. It's not about ignoring your feelings. It's about choosing not to hand him the script. He expects because people get comfortable in patterns. If he can predict your reaction, he can manipulate it. But when you hold your peace, when you breathe through the pain and speak with control, if you even speak at all, you break the pattern, and over that is confusing. Calm isn't passive. It's power. It's strength wrapped in grace. It's the quiet confidence that says, yeah, I see what you did. I feel it, but I won't let you pull me into a place where I lose myself. And listen, I'm not saying pretend like nothing happened. This isn't about pretending. It's about prioritizing your emotional clarity over proving your pain. Because the truth is, when someone hurts you, they're often looking for a reaction to justify what they did, to paint you as dramatic, unstable, too much. But when you choose calm, you take that excuse right out of their hands. Now, let's be honest. Choosing calm doesn't always feel natural. You want to say something. You want to correct the lies, defend your name, make him see the damage. That's human. But what does that really give you? A momentary release, followed by regret, or worse, his indifference. The real win isn't in the reaction, it's in the restraint. Because there is nothing more unsettling than a woman who knows how to protect her peace when someone tries to steal it. You know what's powerful? Looking someone in the eye, not with anger, not with desperation, but with clarity. The kind that says, you hurt me, but I won't lose myself over it. That right there, that creates confusion. Not because you're being cold, not because you're trying to be mysterious, but because you're doing the one thing he didn't expect, holding your power. It's not about bottling your emotion. You deal with them, you feel them fully on your own terms. Journal, cry, call someone who actually sees your heart, but you don't hand your healing over to the person who caused the wound. And that's where so many people get stuck, trying to get closure from the same place that gave them confusion. Sometimes the closure is in your calm. Sometimes the message is in your lack of chaos. Because when you choose not to spiral, when you choose not to break down in front of him, when you choose not to scream just to be heard, you send the loudest message possible. You don't control me. That's the confusion. That's the power. When he's waiting for raining for drama and you give him dignity, when he's ready for you to beg and you quietly bow out, when he hurts you and you still protect your character, that's not weakness. That's maturity. That's growth. That's how you honor yourself, even when someone else didn't. So next time someone hurts you, pause before you react. Not because you're afraid, but because you're aware. Because in that pause, you make a decision. Do I respond the way he expects, or do I respond the way I deserve? That pause, that calm, that's where your power lies. He hurt you. Maybe he betrayed your trust. Maybe he said something that cut deep, or maybe he just slowly chipped away at you until you didn't recognize yourself anymore. And now, in the aftermath of it all, your emotions are screaming to be let out. You want to react. You want to lash out to show him just how badly he messed up. That instinct is real and it's valid. But I want to offer you something stronger than reaction, a response. Because reacting is emotional reflex. It's raw. It's impulsive. It's what he expects. It's you sending that angry text at 1:00 a.m. It's calling 5 times in a row, hoping this time he'll explain. It's yelling, crying, pleading, all because you want clarity from someone who gave you confusion. And I get it. You're not reacting to be dramatic. You're reacting because you care, because you were vulnerable, because you believed this person saw you. and they didn't. Or worse, they saw you and still chose to hurt you. But here's the truth. Reaction might feel satisfying for a second, but it almost always hands him back the power. It gives him a version of you that's not rooted in your worth. It's rooted in your pain. And when someone sees you only through the lens of your pain, they'll never fully understand your value. That's why you choose to respond instead. Responding is not about suppressing your feelings. It's about processing them first so you can show up from a place of clarity. It's about pausing long enough to ask yourself of what does this situation deserve from me? Not what my ego wants, not what my anger wants, what as serves me, what protects my peace, preserves my self-respect, and tells the truth without betraying who I am. Because a response isn't weak. A response is intentional. A response might be a single sentence or no words at all. It might be walking away without explanation. It might be saying, I'm not okay with how you treated me, and I need space. And that confuses him. Why? Because he can't predict it. He doesn't know how to handle calm power. He knows how to handle chaos. He knows what to do when you spiral. He deflects. He denies. He doubles down. But when you're composed, when you're collected, that leaves him nowhere to hide. No distraction. Just the mirror of your strength. Responding also creates space for you to see things clearly. Because in the heat of a reaction, you're not always seeing that you're seeing the pain. And pain has a way of convincing us. We have to prove ourselves. But your worth isn't proven by how loud you cry or how hard you fight to be understood. Your worth is proven in how you protect your peace. Even when it's hard, there's a version of you that's grounded. That version doesn't need to chase. She doesn't need to beg for explanations. She already knows that how someone treats you is a reflection of them, not you. And when you respond from that place, when you choose grace over retaliation, when you choose self-respect over a revenge, that's the part that shakes him, because he can't play with a woman who won't hand him the remote to her emotions. He hurt you, and you still chose to respond with intention. That's not weakness. That's power. That's how you shift the dynamic. Not by trying to control him, but by controlling you. You don't owe anyone the chaos they're trying to pull you into. You owe yourself peace. You owe yourself clarity. You owe yourself the ability to walk away with your head high, knowing that no matter how much someone tried to hurt you, you didn't let them steal your dignity. So the next time your heart is racing, your fingers are itching to type that message, your voice is rising. Pause, breathe, ask yourself, does this reflect who I want to be or just how I feel right now? If it's just the feeling, let it pass. Because feelings are temporary, but your response that shapes the story you tell about yourself. And when you respond instead of react, you stop giving him the power to define the next chapter. When someone hurts you, especially someone you are close to, it's natural to feel this tug to keep them close, even just a little. Maybe it's because part of you still wants answers. Maybe it's because they're history, or maybe you just don't want to believe they could really treat you that way and still walk around like nothing happened. So what happens? You leave the door cracked open. You keep texting back. You still follow, still check in, still allow them to reach out whenever they feel like it. That little bit of access, it seems harmless at first, but that's the string they keep pulling. What confuses someone more than anything, especially a man who thought he had emotional access to you whenever he wanted, is when you shut the door all the way. And not with drama, not with a dramatic exit or a long speech. Just a quiet, firm closing of the gate. Because people don't expect you to go silent with dignity. They expect begging, chasing, or anger. They expect you to cling to the connection because you're hurt. But when you take your energy back, when you stop showing up in their life the way you used to, that shakes them, because access is power. See, people start to believe they can treat you however they want, as long as they know they can still reach you. Still send that, hey, just checking in, text, still slide into your DMs 2 weeks later like nothing ever happened. And if you respond even politely, you're telling them this door isn't locked. You still get a piece of me, and I want to tell you this gently, but directly. You can't heal in a place that still hurts you. You can't grow in soil that someone keeps digging up. And you cannot reclaim your peace if you're still giving pieces of it away. There's a strength in choosing who gets access to you, not from spite, from wisdom. Because once someone shows you they're willing to hurt you, your responsibility becomes clear. Protect your space. That doesn't mean you hate them. It doesn't mean you wish them harm. It just means you've learned to value yourself enough to guard what they once misused. And yes, that will confuse him because he was used to the version of you that was always available, the version that would answer no matter what, the version that still believed maybe, just maybe, he'd do better next time. But when you stop replying, when you unfollow, when you stop entertaining breadcrumb conversations that go nowhere, he starts to realize he's not entitled to you. He doesn't get to pop in and out of your life as he pleases. And that quiet boundary, that lack of access, that's the most powerful, confusing thing you can give someone who once assumed you'd always be there. You don't owe anyone continued access just because they used to be close to you. Proximity is not permission. History is not entitlement. And love, real love, doesn't look like inconsistency, manipulation, or carelessness. So don't feel guilty for taking your energy back. Don't second guess your boundaries just because someone acts surprised when you finally hold them. And let's be honest, it's not easy. There will be days you'll want to reach out. You'll miss the idea of what you had. You'll convince yourself that a little conversation won't hurt, but every time you respond out of loneliness or nostalgia, you're teaching him that access is negotiable, that your boundaries bend, that you're still emotionally available, even if you physically walked away. But when your actions match your healing, when you stop responding to that same cycle, that's when the shift happens. You don't have to announce your boundaries. You live them. You don't have to explain why you're no longer available. Let your absence speak. The right people will respect it. The wrong ones will be confused by it. And that confusion, that's not your problem. That's the consequence of underestimating your worth. Because the most powerful thing you can do after being hurt is to remove the option of being hurt again by the same person. When someone hurts you, especially someone you gave your heart to, it's easy to focus all your energy outward. You start thinking, how could he do this? What did I do wrong? What does he think of me now? And you fall into this cycle of trying to understand his actions, trying to read his silence, trying to make sense of what doesn't make sense. But here's the truth. It's not about what he's thinking now. It's about what you choose to build from here. Because the greatest confusion you can give a man who thought he broke you is becoming someone he no longer recognizes. Not in bitterness, not in revenge, but in growth. The glow up everyone talks about isn't about makeup or outfits or thirst traps. It's about healing, internal healing. It's the glow in your eyes when you've stopped questioning your worth. It's the way your voice steadies again when you speak up. It's that moment when you walk past your reflection and realize you've found your way back to yourself. That's the kind of glow up that doesn't fade, and it doesn't need an audience. It just needs commitment to you. After being hurt, you have two options. You can shrink in the shadow of what they did, or you can rise in the light of who you are. And rising takes work. It means facing yourself, not to blame yourself, but to build yourself. It means asking, what did I learn from that? What will I not allow next time? How do I want to show up for myself moving forward? And those questions, they shift the energy because now the focus is no longer on fixing him. It's on forming you. When you glow up internally, you stop needing validation. You stop needing closure from the person who broke you. You stop looking backward and start building forward. And the man who once thought he had the power to define you, he won't know what to do with the version of you who no longer needs anything from him. Not an apology, not attention, not explanation. That's the confusion. See, a man can't manipulate a woman who knows herself. He can't play games with someone who's no longer on the field. He can't ghost you and expect you to wait. Because when you've done the work, when you've sat with the pain and learned from it, when you've let go of the fantasy and honored the facts, you don't need to chase peace. You are peace. That's why the internal glow up is the most powerful response. It's not loud. It's not broadcast. It's slow. It's quiet, but it's consistent. It's in the boundaries you set, the people you surround yourself with, the habits you rebuild, the moments you choose to rest instead of ruminate, the forgiveness you give, not for him, but so you don't stay stuck. Healing isn't always glamorous, but the results are undeniable. And here's the best part. You're not doing it for him. You're not trying to make him regret it. You're not trying to win some breakup competition. You're doing it for you because you deserve to feel whole again. You deserve to feel proud of how you came through it. You deserve a life that doesn't revolve around what someone else did or didn't see in you. So yes, it'll confuse him when he sees that you're no longer in that place he left you in, that you're not trying to prove anything, that you're thriving in your own lane, rooted, grounded, and unbothered. Because now he sees what you became after the storm he caused, and that version of you, that healed, wiser, softer, but stronger version, that's what he'll never have access to again. Let your healing speak for you. Let your peace tell the story, because the best version of you was never created by his approval. It was revealed the moment you stopped waiting for it. When a man hurts you, it's easy to feel like your whole story just took a wrong turn, like everything you were building, everything you thought you understood, suddenly collapsed. And in that pain, your mind tries to make sense of it by rewriting the past. You question yourself. You wonder if you missed the signs. You replay every moment to figure out what was real and what wasn't. But here's something that needs to be said. Just because someone mishandled your heart doesn't mean your whole story has to revolve around the hurt they caused. You get to take your power back by reframing the narrative. See, pain wants to make itself the main character. It wants to take over your voice and convince you that you're the victim, that you're broken, that you're not enough. But that voice isn't truth. It's trauma. It's the echo of disappointment. And if you keep letting that voice narrate your story, you'll stay stuck in a version of yourself that's built around what they did instead of who you are. That's where the real shift happens. When you stop centering the story on the person who hurt you and start writing from your own strength, that doesn't mean pretending the hurt didn't happen. It doesn't mean minimizing your emotions. It means you acknowledge what was done, but you don't make it your identity. You move from about, he broke my toss. I rebuilt from that, from select me to V. I found myself in the leaving. That's not rewriting the truth. It's reclaiming your voice. And that's the kind of shift that confuses him, because now, instead of being the one who defines your worth, he becomes just a chapter, not the story. There's something incredibly powerful about a woman who doesn't let pain become her personality. A woman who can walk through betrayal, disappointment, and silence, and still choose to grow from it instead of settle in it. That choice alone creates a kind of clarity that's intimidating, because it shows you're not waiting for someone else to heal you. You've taken the pen back, and you're writing a new ending. One where your peace, your purpose, your identity are not tied to his presence or absence. You win not by proving he was wrong. You win by showing that his actions didn't stop your life, that you didn't freeze in that moment of heartbreak, that you move forward, maybe slower at first, maybe with scars, but forward nonetheless. And that's where the confusion comes in, because he expected you to stay where he left you. He expected time to soften the damage he caused and maybe even bring you back around. But when he sees that you didn't just survive, you grew, you glowed, you evolved. That's when it really hits. The truth is, not everyone who hurts you will come back and say they're sorry. Not everyone will understand what they did, and many won't ever try. But closure doesn't come from them. It comes from the way you decide to end that chapter. And ending it doesn't mean forgetting. It means choosing peace over resentment, growth over bitterness, a future over replaying the past. You can't control how someone else treated you. You can undo what's already been said or done. But you can choose what you carry. You can choose what gets to stay in your story. And you can choose to rise in a way that reminds you you are the author here. Not him, not the pain, not the confusion. So let this be the chapter where you stopped explaining yourself, where you stopped needing answers to move on, where you stopped waiting for someone who already showed you they couldn't love you. Well, let this be the moment you realize the real win isn't about getting him to regret losing you. It's about you no longer needing him to. Because the ultimate plot twist is peace. So here you are, not the broken woman he thought he left behind, but the one who rose calm, clear, grounded. You didn't react the way he expected. You didn't chase, beg, or unravel. You responded with dignity. You shut the door with grace. You stopped handing out access to someone who misused it. And you turned all that pain inward, not to hide it, but to heal it. You became stronger, softer, smarter, all at once. And now you're not trying to confuse him. You, Vaf, are the confusion. Because nothing unsettles someone more than realizing they no longer know how to reach the version of you they helped create, the version that glows without their validation, that walks away without turning back, that reclaims the narrative without needing their apology. He thought he ended something, but really he started. You're becoming